Cambridge, and welcome to What's That About, where we answer all your questions about the pressing issues of the day, brought to you by CCTV. Everything is on fire, but we bring you marshmallows.
I love s'mores. Our first letter comes from Ronald in Quincy. Ronald asks, I read in the Globe that the state legislature agreed to joint committee rules for the first time since 2019. You guys have been complaining about how opaque Beacon Hill is for years. Is this finally some good news for transparency?
Come on, Ronald. Everyone knows Beacon Hill is an opaque, corrupt...
Wait a minute, Max. Ronald actually has a point here.
What do you mean, Julie?
I mean, on June 26th, for the first time in many sessions, the House and Senate actually did agree on committee rules that include major transparency improvements good government groups like Act on Mass and local groups like the Cambridge Committee for Transparency and Accountability, or CCTA, have been lobbying for.
Come on, everyone knows the State House has been fighting transparency rules for years, even after 2022, when ballot results showed that 87% of voters wanted Beacon Hill to make committee votes public. And this year, 72% of voters approved an audit of the State House that House Speaker Mariano and State President Spilka are doing their best to ignore.
Well, Max, maybe all that public dissatisfaction with Beacon Hill has finally gone through to leadership, especially in the wake of last session when the state legislature was one of the least effective in the country at passing bills.
Okay, what's in the new agreement?
Well, the House and Senate agreed to publish all final committee votes on their website and to make committee testimony public with certain privacy stipulations. They also agreed to give 10 days notice for any committee hearings, make the first conference committee open to the public, and release plain language summaries of each bill on the website. These and other rules changes are expanded upon here on Progressive Mass's webpage. Boop.
Well, that seems like a big improvement for transparency. I'm feeling something weird I haven't felt about state government in a long time. Pleasantly surprised?
Not only that, but committees agreed to report out all bills by the first week of December, or 60 days after they'd been heard in the House. This may help avoid the pileup of bills that made Beacon Hill miss all of their deadlines at the end of last session to widespread criticism and bad press.
This is amazing. And I see they even agreed to hold a public hearing at the end of the session to review the effectiveness of new rules. It's almost like they're committed to making them work.
Hopefully. According to some legislators, this step was added to make sure that the rule changes will be just the minimum starting point for new transparency rules going forward. Max, you can even testify at the hearing and have your say.
Oh, I definitely will, Julie. I'm a very good talker. Smart, concise, smart, concisive. How did Cambridge legislators vote on the new rules? As we've covered on past episodes, reps like Marjorie Decker have been against several of these transparency changes over the years.
Max, hold on to your hat, because all 9 of Cambridge state reps and senators voted for the new transparency rules. In fact, Representatives Marjorie Decker, Mike Connolly, and Senators Sal DiDomenico and Will Brownsberger, among others, all told local advocacy group CCTA that they all wanted the transparency changes and were working to promote them with leadership internally.
So does that mean transparency groups got everything they wanted?
No. They definitely didn't get everything. There are some potential loopholes left open. For example, committee bills can still be sent to study rather than recorded as no votes, which means bills can be quietly killed without committee members going on record. Also, as you mentioned, the audit of the State House that was approved by 72% of voters is still sitting in legislative limbo.
Well, that's not great. So these new rules might be just a sop to voters to get them to shut up about the audit?
Maybe, and it's true that some accountability improvements are being totally ignored. For example, the Coalition to Reform Our State Legislature was just forced to conduct a people's hearing on bills to decentralize salary perks for legislative members and to create an independent fiscal impact bureau. Because they couldn't get a single lawmaker to hold a public hearing at the State House, the Coalition was forced to book a room at a church across the street for the bill's hearing.
Well, I suppose it's comforting that Beacon Hill leadership didn't suddenly find God on all things transparency. So we'll need to keep up the fight to not only make sure they follow these new rules, but to push them to continue to improve their transparency across the board.
That's right. There are several groups that are actively mobilizing to hold committees accountable to the new rules, like Progressive Mass here. Boop. You can also join the local group we mentioned a couple of times, the CCTA, which is more focused on working Cambridge area legislators. They were able to meet with 8 out of 9 Cambridge legislators to lobby for new transparency rules. You can join them on July 31st as they develop their strategy for the rest of this legislative session by emailing them here. Boop.
Hey, I know some of the people on the CCTA, including me. I know me fairly well.
Does anyone really know anyone, Max?
Sure. Wait a minute. Who am I? Why am I here? How did I get this scar on my hand?
Until next week, we'll see you first.